Mouthwashing begins with you in the cockpit of the Tulpar. The space freighter's systems are warning you of a crash, and the first objective you get is to make sure that it does happen. After overriding the flight controls, we get to walk through the dark, ominous hallways of the Tulpar. We can see what looks like inspirational posters put there by the company, Pony Express. Holy shit, dude. After getting haunted by the man himself is when we get our first time jump. Mouthwashing's story is told in a non-linear fashion, meaning that as you play, you'll be brought to different points in time to be provided with more context. Since you may be jumping months forward or even months backwards, if you pay attention to the dialogue, you may start putting pieces of the puzzle together on your own. Since the Tulpar crashed, the crew of 5 on board only have so much food to last them. I mentioned that the Tulpar is a freighter, so the crew decide to break into the cargo to see if maybe there's food or anything else they can use to survive. And the name of the game, all they find is mouthwash. The crew start ingesting it and get drunk, delusional, and even hallucinate on the attempt to stay alive long enough to be rescued. The thing here is that there's quite the drama between the crew members. The pilot and co-pilot are Curly and Jimmy, the ship's medic is Anya, and the mechanic and intern being Swansea and Daisuke. Curly is left severely mutilated and mute after the crash that he seemingly caused. The crew must force him to take painkillers to quiet his screams of pain that echo throughout the ship. You'll learn about each of these characters, from their differing personalities and histories, as well as their motivations and relationships with each other. Mouthwashing is an indie psychological horror game by Wrong Organ. It was released in September 2024 on PC, with an imminent release on PS5, Switch, and Xbox. The game can be beaten in 3 hours, maybe a little less if you don't get stuck on some of the trappings of the game design. By this I mean that there are 1 or 2 times in the game where I simply did not know what to do. The game is pretty hands-off unless you can speak to other characters, since they tend to give you hints to get you on your way. Other times when left alone, I thought I was maybe missing some sort of context to help me get past a sequence or puzzle that the game put in front of me. It's also worth noting that there may be some very video gamey problems that you may run into and can be a little jarring, but nothing too bad that it would ruin the experience. One notable instance of this was when I was supposed to enter the main room to speak with some characters and in my mind advance the story. Okay, before I go back in there, I want to look over here. I saw Anya kneeling on the floor in the middle of the room but did not enter. I wanted to explore a little bit, so I went downstairs, only to run into Anya again not even 20 feet away. Wait! I thought the person I just saw on their knees was this chick. The game has a couple rough edges that are definitely worth ignoring so you can get immersed into the psychological story that Wrong Organ expertly tells. You may have noticed that Mouthwashing adapts a PlayStation 1 styled art direction, with a more classic filter layered on top. It fits very well with the overall tone and sound design that the game uses to build atmosphere. In terms of scares, there are quite a couple jump scares, mainly some late game ones that seem a little unnecessary, but if you're sensitive to scary games, I didn't think it was too bad. It came across to me as a game that was trying to tell a dark story that came off a little creepy and uneasy. If you like short games with a well-told story that moves along at a constant pace, with some puzzles and other weird shit sprinkled in, then you're going to enjoy Mouthwashing. Please remember to leave the video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you. Be sure to check out the game if any of this sounds appealing, as I did not want to spoil the story. There are some great reveals and some awesome character moments that can only truly be appreciated when you play the game for yourself. Let me know if you played it or you plan to do so. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe.